the champagne pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up. Hear a knock on the door.
Hey, this is Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody of the Richardson Group, your real estate experts in Southeast Tennessee with more than 25 years of experience serving the Tennessee Valley. We're answering your questions about buying, selling, and investing. Call or text the studio at 267-1023. We're also live on the Richardson Group Facebook page, and you can reach us at our office at 790-7979 or online at rg423.com. Good morning, Cindi. Good morning, Jody. How are you doing today?
Hey, Jack. We're good. How are you?
I'm doing well, and we also have a very special guest with us this morning, Miss Angel Sherlin with CMG Mortgage. Angel, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
That little bit of a delay gets me every time. I'm like, are you there? Are you there? Yes, she's there. We appreciate you so much for calling in today. If you were not aware, June is National Homeownership Month. So we wanted to make sure that we used the first show of the month to touch on that. And, you know, we all know the value of home ownership. And we appreciate the part that you do in making that happen. So as Jack said, Angel is with CMG Mortgage. Let's just straight out of the gate, Angel, tell people how they can get a hold of you if they would like to.
Sure. My number is 423-421-7900.
Easy to remember. I like it.
Yeah, 25 years, same phone number. Make it easy.
So, Angel, I know the thought on everybody's head, all we ever hear all the time is interest rates, interest rates, interest rates. So can you kind of just give us, get us up to speed? What are interest rates doing right now? What does that look like? Give us whatever insight you can.
Yeah. Well, like I said before, I think the rates really aren't that bad. I mean, right now, you could get a government loan, which is FHA, VA, USDA, one of those loan types, for somewhere in the low sixes, mid sixes, of course, all depending upon your credit scores. Conventional is high six, low seven. So really they're not in the bad range. I think they're in a very, very good range right now. They did slightly move up last month. They were a little bit lower than that. I think we're going to see, there's different, of course, gurus saying different things. The mortgage bankers think that the rates are going to come back down to the mid sixes, low sixes for conventional sometime around the election or after, but Fannie Mae's saying that they're going to hover where they are right now. So we're still getting conflicting stories on what's going to happen, all based upon inflation, that kind of thing. But really, I still think they're in a good range.
Yeah, and on the conventional loan, you do have PMI insurance, right? Or you do not have, you do not have PMI insurance. So even though the interest rate is slightly higher, your payment may be better without PMI.
That's right. However, it is a misnomer about PMI. PMI currently, within the last few years, they've really changed the way they structure that. It all is depending upon how much you put down and what your credit scores are. So if your credit scores are excellent, say they're over 740, I mean, you may only be paying $50 a month for mortgage insurance if you put 15% down, as an example. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's so exorbitant that it's unaffordable. Some people would rather pay a little bit less down so they'll have cash in hand if the PMI mortgage is, not very expensive.
Okay.
And it can be removed after 2 years if you reach a certain, the 80% loan to value.
I did not realize that PMI was credit score and loan driven. So it really is just going to depend on you and your circumstances as to that amount of loan. Now, even on FHA, is it a set rate, or again, is it based on credit score and loan?
No, the government loans, the FHA and the USDA, are all set by that program.
Okay. That makes sense.
They're all set by that program.
I think the moral of the story, Angel, is there are so many options, and obviously things that we don't even realize. We're realtors. We're really quick to give you that disclaimer. We're not lenders. We're not attorneys. We're not surveyors. That's why it's so important to have somebody on your team like Angel, who's knowledgeable, because what sounds the best on paper may not always be the best option in each individual situation. Saying it doesn't have PMI versus it's got $40 a month PMI, But like you said, you may need immediately to know you're going to need to do a few things to the house or, pay off some debt or something of that sort.
Interest rates today are about where they were this time last year, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so even on your conventional loan, it's the exact same amount it was last year. So anybody that's waiting on interest rates to come down, just so that you know, for the month of April, because we don't have May's numbers yet, the average in 2023, the average home was $300,000. This year, for the month of April, the amount was $322,500. So that would be just buying the average home. That's an additional loan amount for the exact same home of $22,500. So even if interest rates go down slightly, you're still paying more on the exact same house the longer you wait.
That's right. And I keep telling my buyers, especially my first-time home buyers, we really need to do it now. When these rates come back down, as we've all been saying, we're going to be in a frenzy, and I'm afraid my first-time home buyers won't be able to compete. So, we can buy now and refinance later, and we could talk about the rate rebound program we've got available to help them refinance.
Now, what is the rate rebound program? What is that?
So back when the economy started changing after COVID, we developed a program that's called Rate Rebound Refinance Program. So what we're saying is, let's go ahead, buy the house now, even if the rate's a little bit higher than what you think it should be. When the rates come back down, then we're going to save them a couple $1,000s to refinance. We're not going to charge them appraisal or lender fees and give them some credit towards, title expenses. It's about a $3,500 savings.
Okay,
and they can do that as many times as they want to. There's no expiration date. So
basically, if the rates come down within, how long of a period is that?
Say that one more time.
How long do they have to do the rate rebound program?
There's no expiration. They can do it at any time. Now, there are parameters. They have to keep the mortgage that they receive for 6 months. And the government requires them the interest rate has to be reduced by at least half a point. They do put parameters on it. But they can do it every 6 months as long as the interest rate reduces by 0.5%.
And they're saving about $3,500 on the refinance just through the credits that you're giving.
Yes.
And guys, I don't know if you're listening to that, but that really takes that fear. I think we're all kind of, or at least all of the buyers that I'm talking with are waiting to see what happens. It's like everybody's the anticipation of what might happen. We have seen the beauty of hindsight is we've talked about it 100 times. It is cyclical, but it always is on an upward arch. So like Cindi said, you're going to pay more for the exact same house. And ironically, in almost the exact same interest rate situation, Jack and I were talking before the show started. He's like, you realize that when Cindi and I were talking about the numbers this morning, they're almost exactly where they were last year. So like Cindi said, you're paying a lot more money for the exact same situation. So as cheesy as it sounds, you buy real estate and wait. Don't wait to buy real estate because you're going to end up paying more in the long run typically.
Well, and kind of the state of where our market is right now is inventory levels are up. So for the month, inventory levels were up 22.6%. Average days on the market is up. Average home number of homes that have sold were up 11%. Pendings were up 13%. And medium home prices were up. So we are seeing more homes on the market, which means you have more to choose from. They're staying on the market a little bit longer. So theoretically, that would tell you that we were slowly transitioning into a buyer's market, but we are not, because the average days on the market is 37. That is still a seller's market. Anything less than 90 days on the market is a seller's market. But the one consistent that we've had with interest rates even going up and down, inventory levels going up and down, is the average home price has consistently continued to increase. And with the price of building material and land, I don't foresee that going down anytime in the near future without something drastically happening.
Hey, Cindi, can we also tell them, too, I think there's a lot of misnomer. A lot of people still call me and say, I thought I had to put 20% down. That's what you used to have to do many, many years ago. But we have so many options now for people that they can do 100% financing, or they can get money from Tennessee Housing for down payment, or we have a down payment assistance program where they can get money, to put down. So they don't have to have 20% down. They may not even have to have any money down. That's why I say people, call, get the information, because you may not have to put any money down.
And go ahead.
That's when it's important, too, to have a knowledgeable person for your loan. Are you better off putting, less money down and doing a conventional loan? Would you be better putting 3.5% down and doing an FHA loan, with the adjustment for PMI? So that's when it is very important to have a knowledgeable loan officer like Angel so that they can direct you in what loan program is best for you. And then there's also, on the flip side, if you do have money to put down, then what is the best percent to put down to avoid PMI and get the best rate? Now, I've heard on the on the internet, which we all believe everything on the internet, right? That 25% was the magic number. We've all in our head been told 20% for a very long time, but I was actually listening to something that said 25%. Is that true?
Well, after COVID, they put together they call them loan level pricing. So they actually price based upon down payment and credit scores and loan amount. So yes, that's kind of the magic number, 25%, to get a better rate. But what we do is we analyze that with our buyer. We figure out, okay, how much money do you have? Is it best to put more down, or is it best maybe to take some of that money and pay off a credit card or pay off a car or whatever? So we do more than just look at the purchase. We look at the overall financial picture of the buyer to try to figure out what's best for them.
Well,
but yes, there is loan level pricing that they put together based upon all those factors.
Well, and let's paint a picture here too, because I do think it's so important to have all of your pieces lined up. Speak with an angel, speak with somebody that's knowledgeable. Like Cindi noted, if we're looking for the positives in this situation, the fact that there's more inventory, even though, yes, it is still a buyer's market, you still have the option to look at several homes, think it through a little bit, which has not been the case. And like Angel said, my concern is that if and when interest rates do bump down just a little bit, everyone who's waiting is going to be ready to move at that point. And if you already have everything lined up, you've got everything in order, and you know what your lending options are, that's going to make you so much more powerful when it comes time to actually purchase a home.
And again, that's when it's very valuable to have a good loan officer like Angel so that you can kind of take a look at it. Are you better off to go into today's market and pay, what someone's asking, or are you better off to hold off till rates come down and you're competing? If you have to bid over asking price, and we're back to the way that it was, a couple of years ago, how much more would that add to your payment?
I think it's important to know as you go through, everybody's going to be different, but if you have the opportunity, please go with a local lender.
Yeah.
That's big.
Well, and I think it goes beyond just, you hear us say local lender, local lender. There are so many caveats that go along with that, but I will say from my experience in doing this, the most powerful thing that you can have is someone that you can speak with. That you speak with a local person that understands the local market, that has access to their underwriters, that you're not dealing with a large conglomeration where you don't get the same person from time to time. With a lender like Angel, you can literally go and sit down face to face, talk through your options with her, and then when you need answers to your questions, you're going to get somebody locally. And that's without even getting into the local appraisers and all the other things that go along with that. But just being able to contact the same person, because how many times have we all, called the company and you have to repeat your entire life story every time you talk to somebody because it's not the same person.
And I just had a seller, and we had multiple offers, and they chose to take an offer that the people buying had to sell the home that they were, they had to close on their home in order to purchase this home. And their buyer was using a big internet buyer. And I told them right up front that, even though it's a solid offer, this is going to get very sticky there toward the end. And sure enough, the day of closing, that big local lender was not ready.
National lender.
National lender was not ready. And we got pushed till the following week. So, and they had
sometimes
actually
it's
moved
time
out of the
zones.
house.
It's something
And
as
yes,
ridiculous
yeah, they
as,
were-
you know,
yes.
you're 4 hours different. And so you're sitting at a closing table and the lender you're using is not even open yet.
Right, and we ran into that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And those national lenders have these big operations centers, and they don't know you. They don't know Cindy. They don't know Jody. They don't know Jack. They don't have, I have a responsibility to you guys to get the job done because I live here, work here. You know, I feel responsible for you.
You're going to see us out
I
at
make
dinner,
it happen,
right?
But the national lender, people are just a number. Buyers are just a number. And that's the scary part of it. And if you don't make that contract date, as y'all know, I mean, your seller may cancel. Say, hey, I'm moving on to my fifth buyer, my fifth offer that I had.
Or you're sitting
You
with
know?
buyers and sellers, and they all have possession sitting in a moving truck, and you're sitting trying to get a
Trying to
file out of
explain, yeah.
underwriting. Yeah.
That's none of us want to have that conversation.
No,
Angel,
absolutely not.
We firsthand can speak to her knowledge and expertise and how wonderful she is to work for. If you need to reach Angel, 423-421-7900. Is there a website they can reach you on, Angel?
Yes, it's, it's pretty long, but it's asherlin.cmgfi.com.
Okay, perfect. Again, Angel Sherlin with CMG Mortgage. We sure do appreciate you. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Angel.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks.
You do the same. Guys, we're going to step away and take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about more about June being National Home Ownership Month. This is Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody.
WGOW. Live and local.
It's the local news I tune in for.
Talk 102.3 WGOW FM.
Do you want the highest possible offer for the sale of your home? Do you want to move into your dream home but still need to sell your current home? You got to stop all the drama, folks, and you got to call my great friend Cindi Richardson with the Richardson Group. Cindi Jody, you can hear him here every Saturday at 9 o'clock. Yes, skip the showings, repairs. Call 423-790-7979 or go to rg423.com. Start packing. They'll buy your house. Just get it over with. 790-7979.
Paid for by government.com.
Have you heard? A recent stash of 1881 Morgan silver dollar coins has been found. These gorgeous 1881S silver dollar coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck. Only a limited quantity of these Morgan silver dollar coins are available. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone interested in silver coins. Just call government at 1-800-509-6468 and you are guaranteed a mint condition 1881S Morgan silver dollar featuring the iconic S mint mark of the San Francisco Mint. But with limited quantity, you must call now. These 1881S silver coins are still in uncirculated condition. That is 140 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-509-6468. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-509-6468 now to secure your 1881S Morgan silver dollars before they sell out. That's 1-800-509-6468.
There's a lot more cost to home ownership than what you see at the closing table. You got to contact Cindi Richardson and the Richardson Group. A lot of talk when buying a home, but have you heard of those mystery expenses, closing costs, home inspections? No one better in the home buying industry than my great friend Cindi Richardson, representing all parts of the Tennessee Valley. Cindi Jody, you can hear him here every Saturday at 9 o'clock. Give him a call at 790-7979 or go online at rg423.com.
If you want to get into real estate, call Cindi Richardson. Cindi offers individualized training, full-time support staff, and the kind of expert marketing to bring business to you. Go to rg423.com and talk to Cindi Richardson. You'll be glad you did.
You've gotten your finances ready to buy a home, but are you ready to own a home? There's a lot more cost to home ownership than what you see at the closing table. That's why you got to contact the nicest person in the realty business, Cindi Richardson and the Richardson Group. Skip all the worries and get an immediate cash offer for your home. The Cindi Richardson Group, representing all parts of the Tennessee Valley. Their team is worth their weight in sold. Cindi Jody, you can hear them here every Saturday at 9 o'clock. Go online, rg423.com. Do you want the highest possible offer for the sale of your home? Do you want to move into your dream home but still need to sell your current home? You got to stop all the drama, folks, and you got to call my great friend Cindi Richardson with the Richardson Group, online at rg423.com.
Talk 102.3.
Hey, welcome back to Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody. We are talking about National Home Ownership Month. And we were blessed well enough to have Angel Sherlin on with us earlier talking about conventional rates, what rates are doing, what we're kind of expecting to see going into the year as we get closer to election and kind of what we're going to see happen there. And I think there's still a lot of, I think she hit on a good point. Don't wait on real estate. Go ahead and buy.
Well, I think historically, if it's taught us anything, prices are not going to come down. And waiting for the right situation, I think with anything in life, not to sound philosophical here, but if you wait till you're ready, it's never going to happen. So you can think of a million reasons why you need to wait, but let's talk about some of the reasons you should. I know it sounds, we say it all the time. Obviously, it's our profession. It's what we do. But home ownership is the epitome of the American dream. What are the benefits of owning a home? What are the benefits of home ownership? What comes to mind?
Well, I think that you are building long-term wealth because, again, even at a modest 3% appreciation, then if you have a $300,000 house, then your first year you're going to get $9,000 appreciation. Your second year about $10,000 appreciation. So, 20, 30 years down the road, that's quite a bit of appreciation in just, your home. And then just not from the money aspect of it. I mean, a home is somewhere that you're going to raise your family.
Well, and I think security is the word that comes to mind with me. Security in more ways than one. Let's be honest. For most people, that is the single largest asset that they will own in their lifetime. And heaven forbid, we're never going to preach you should refinance your house or you should sell your home or you should, but I mean, that gives you a little bit of security, to know that you have an asset that is gaining value. I had an investor say to me, and it stuck. I don't know why, people say stuff all the time, and it just stuck in my head. He said, you realize that because I was stressed about the amount of margin he was going to get on his return, and he said, you realize that if I'd have put that same amount of money in the bank, it would have taken me, he'd figured it out, 4 years to appreciate half of what that return was. So, even if you're not looking at long-term portfolio wealth, you are building financial security for yourself. There's that word, security, for yourself, for your family. But like Cindi said, you're also creating the life and the lifestyle that you want for you, for your family, for generations to come, or just for yourself. But, home is the safe place without sounding cheesy. That is your security.
It's your safe haven. It's where you go to be with your family. It's where you shut the door and everybody can be themselves.
And it looks different for everybody else, for everybody. And there's not a right or a wrong. That may be a high-rise condo downtown. That may be, a tiny home on 20 acres. It may be a mobile home. It may be your starter home. It may be your dream home. It may be your downsize. But I think that is one of the most precious things genuinely that we get to do is really walk people through that. And let's be honest, most people are not dropping a couple $100,000 on random items. It is a huge purchase, but also a huge asset for you and your family's future.
And not everybody needs to be homeowners. I mean, if you're not to the point, if you have to replace a hot water heater and it is going to financially devastate you, then you are probably not ready for home ownership. But if you are ready, then it's a wonderful thing. Again, it's where you go. It's your place. If you want to knock a wall out, if you want to paint walls, if you want to completely redo landscaping, it's yours. You're free to do what you want to do.
And it's also the fastest, without getting off topic, it's the fastest way to build passive income. You buy one home, you buy another home, it can go whichever direction you want that to go. And like Cindi mentioned, the beauty of just being able to do what you want to do is huge. And if you're not ready right now, we can get you in touch with people and we can talk you through what you need to do to get to a position where you are ready. And I laugh, I think about my first home, and you did what you could afford, but then when you look back over the course of your lifetime, most people, I think especially our generation, we're not statistically staying in homes for 40 years anymore. Right. But, even my parents' home and my grandparents' home, and, that was the one thing, that was the one tangible piece that they had. And even from things like, a tax standpoint, there are some tax incentives to home ownership that are pretty large, especially
you get to deduct your interest.
Yeah.
So, that makes a huge difference on your tax return.
And again, me with the cheesy references here, but people say all the time, I don't want to pay a 7% interest rate. If you're renting, you are paying 100% interest. None of that money is beneficial to you. Now, again, it's not the right time for everybody, and that is absolutely okay. That's not what we're saying. But
I think Jack was looking at the average rental rates.
Yeah, Jack, hit us. What you got in Hamilton County, right?
Yeah, Hamilton County. So we've actually seen they've been trickling up. And Hamilton County and Chattanooga is still well below the national average by a couple of $100.
That's an important point, yeah.
But we've gone up. We're only up 0.5% over last year. Average rental in Chattanooga was $1,372. This year it's $1,386. So we've gone up just a little bit. But the year before in 2022 we were at $1,238. So we're seeing some big jumps. And if you were wanting to rent a house, we said I want to have a temporary rental, I want to have the space. We're at about $2,400 a month for the average home rental.
And I think it's telling, especially in the beginning of my real estate career, our go-to was, you can own cheaper than you can buy. And then as interest rates have kind of climbed.
Own cheaper than you can rent.
No, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. You can own cheaper than you can rent. But interest rates climbed, and that kind of kicked things a little bit. And so everybody was like, whoa, and especially if you'd been in a rental situation for a long time where you were paying under market value. Now interest rates are creeping back down, and we're starting to see that be the case again. Guys, $2,400 a month is a house payment. That is more than a house payment for a lot of people.
On a $300,000 home, FHA with taxes and insurance, we have on here that it's $2,255 per month.
An average home rental is $2,426 without renter's insurance.
And here's the thing, guys: if you've not looked for a rental home, there's not a lot of them out there. And when you do find them, they're not great.
Well, the caliber, they're built and furnished to be easy to turn over. So some of the finishes, some of the design work, some of the things that you're going to see in a single family home to purchase are not going to be there in a rental. And that's not a knock on a landlord. That's just, you're going to get things like flooring that's easy to replace and not a lot of bells and whistles because those are things that are costly.
That's the name of the game on
Absolutely.
that. It's got to be something that you're not having to pay
Easy to turn over.
$5,000 every time a renter moves out and a new one moves in to be able to redo all those things.
Right. So, again, we're back to the saying you can absolutely own cheaper than you can rent. So, and if you are in a rental situation where you're paying under market value, so you maybe you've been with the same landlord for 5 or 6 years, now is the time where you can really be socking money away
and getting ready
to get to that 25% down payment if that is what your end game is. But you're not going to know what your end game is unless you talk to somebody who can help you develop a plan.
Yep.
So zero risk speaking with a lender. Zero risk speaking with a realtor. So, get your plan together so you know what you're working towards,
Yeah, and I think if you're a renter now, you've kind of known, you notice it over the last couple of years, when that lease starts to come up, you start getting the notices. There's going to be a rental increase of X amount from the prior lease. I hear from people all the time that they're getting them and we need to move out by the end of my lease. And then you're just chasing yourself from place to place every year.
Well, and let's talk about what doesn't change. Now, there are some caveats here, so don't nail me to the wall, but your house payment doesn't change. Your house payment's not going to go up 10% every year. There's no renewal there. So you can take that number to the bank, no pun intended. But that helps you from a budgeting standpoint too. You know that if your house payment's $2,000 a month, it's going to be $2,000 a month unless something drastically changes.
That's going to be
insurance, taxes,
yeah.
But they're not going to go up 10% typically on your total house payment. That's not going to happen, and it's not an unknown. So there are lots of benefits out there. We would love to explain those to you and help walk you through the process.
All right, guys, we're going to step away and take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about National Homeownership Month, what you can expect in buying a new home, and some of the mistakes that every first-time home buyer should avoid. This is Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody on Talk Radio 102.3.
the only station in Chattanooga that has live and local programming from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.
I love this station.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Are you looking to elevate your office space to the next level? Look no further than Office Furniture Works, the Southeast premier contract office dealership. Step into our innovation lab and experience unique work environments designed to inspire collaboration, productivity, and innovation. From collaboration spaces to benching, privacy pods, cubicles, and demountable office walls, we have everything you need to attract, retain, and motivate your staff. On a budget? Ask about our remanufactured and pre-owned furniture options. Good for the environment and the budget. Our strategic workplace planners make the process simple, and we deliver and install everything we sell. Visit us online at ofwllc.com or stop by our innovation lab at 1900 Stewart Street in Chattanooga, 74 Mitchell in Oak Ridge, or call us at 423-790-1376. That's 423-790-1376. Office Furniture Works, transforming your workspace into a place where creativity thrives and success flourishes.
Questions you need to ask when hiring a realtor. How many homes have you helped clients buy or sell in the past 12 months? Can I speak to some of your previous clients? What's your availability like? Successful realtors are busy, but it's still ideal to work with an agent who has time to answer your questions. So, JR, I ask you this question. Who would you call looking for the greatest realtor around?
That's a silly question, because there's only one answer.
Say it for me.
Cindi Richardson.
Cindi
That's
Richardson
who I'd call.
and the Richardson Group. A lot of talk when buying a home. Cindi Richardson with the Richardson Group, representing all parts of the Tennessee Valley. Their team is worth their weight in sold. Call 790-7979 or go online. RG423.com. You can skip all the worries and get an immediate cash offer for your home. There is no one better. The Richardson Group and their team. You can hear them every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock right here on 102.3. RG423.com.
89. Have we lost our minds? New Kia's just $89 per month this Memorial Day weekend at Kia of Chattanooga, your big Kia dealer. We sell more so you save more. And this Memorial Day weekend, we're giving you even more. Huge cookout and huge savings on every Kia in our giant inventory. New 24 Kia Forte LXS, $89 per month. New 24 Kia Telluride LX, $259 per month. 24 Kia Sportage or Sorento, $179 per month. Plus, whatever you've been offered for your trade, Kia of Chattanooga will match that deal. Plus, give you up to $500 more. So before you accept a lowball offer for your trade-in, remember this. Kia of Chattanooga will give you up to $500 more. So come see us today. We want to see you in a Kia at Kia of Chattanooga and KiaofChattanooga.com.
You could be driving a Kia. Oh, yes, you could. Kia of Chattanooga.
24-month leases, 10,000 miles per year. $34.99 down plus first tax tag and title. Subject to letter approval. You must be able to validate trade offer. Offers don't combine. Expires month end.
A lot of talk when buying a home. Cindi Richardson with the Richardson Group, representing all parts of the Tennessee Valley. Their team is worth their weight in sold. You can skip all the worries and get an immediate cash offer for your home online at RG423.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. I built the #1 brokerage firm in New York City by marketing luxury homes to the most qualified buyers. What makes the difference today in your area? The same thing, custom marketing to the right buyers. In Chattanooga, the agent I trust is Cindi Richardson. Her personalized marketing plan attracts more buyers and sells more homes for more money. She can even give you an instant offer. Get the best marketing for your home. Go to RG423.com and put more money in your pocket.
Come roam with the gnomes during Rock City's Mountaintop Summers. Now through September 2nd, enjoy kids' activities, animal education shows, and hunt for gnomes. Spend your summer days in the shade at Rock City. Purchase your tickets online at crockcity.com and save $5.
Talk
102.3.
Hey, welcome back to Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody. As always, Real Estate Today is presented by Offers Instantly. Not all guaranteed offers are created equal. Take advantage of Offers Instantly to get the best guaranteed offer on your home in 24 hours with no showings, repairs, and best of all, no problems. Go online to offersinstantly.com or call 205-INFO for more details. Guys, it's been a lot of fun. We've been talking about National Homeownership Month, and we've got a whole section coming to you guys every weekend this summer for this month, but we wanted to go ahead and talk about some of the benefits of homeownership and kind of what to expect as you're getting into homeownership.
Yeah, what to expect. I think people hear the term "no money down."
100% financing.
Yeah, 100% financing. I don't need $1. And our job again is to kind of prepare you for what's to come. Is it no money? No money out of your pocket?
You're going to need some money.
Story of my life. I'm always going to need some money. Yeah.
There's some upfront expenses that you just can't avoid.
Out of pocket, yeah.
Yeah. So that one of them is going to be your earnest money, and earnest money is just money that's held in an account, and it is your money, but it's held in an account. It just gives the seller good faith that you have full intentions of going through with the contract. Now, should you terminate for a reason stated in the contract, you can receive the earnest money back. But if you just don't close for no reason, then it becomes up to the seller what happens with the earnest money.
Well, earnest money is the biggest one. And, I hear, are you going to actually deposit the check? Yes, we're going to deposit the check. So, be prepared for that to be deposited.
And that typically is anywhere from $500 up to 3% of the purchase price.
Yeah, and that varies a little from area to area, what is customary, but I think just as a general rule, the more earnest money you put down, the more serious your offer.
Bottom line, it's whatever the seller is willing to accept.
Yep, exactly. So good faith money. That is the number one. The next thing that I think people don't really build into the equation is inspection costs. Okay. Tennessee is a buyer due diligence state. That means if you're concerned about something, you have every right to inspect it within your inspection period. Are those inspections free?
No.
Are they to be paid at the time the inspection is completed?
Yes.
And if you get a additional inspection, is that an additional cost?
Yep.
Okay. So,
and even if your lender is the one that is requiring an inspection, you still have to pay for that.
That is on you. You shall pay for and cause to be made. So you're going to be the one that initiates that. You are your realtor as the buyer, and you're going to pay for that up front.
And I would budget somewhere between $400 and probably $700, depending on the size of the home, just for the home inspection.
And let me back up here. I may get myself in trouble. Feel free to pinch me under the table if you need to, Cindy. Be leery of someone who gives you one option for an inspector. Okay. A realtor should never choose your inspector for you. It's okay to give people a list of inspectors to point them in the right direction. But you as the buyer have the right to conduct the inspection yourself or to use a home inspector. And there are multiple home inspectors out there.
Licensed inspector.
A licensed home inspector. So call them, make sure that they are licensed and insured, make sure you feel good about what it is that they're offering, and the prices do vary. So cheaper is not always better. Make sure that you're interviewing that person as well. The appraisal, Jack, how does that work?
That is going to be paid up front to the lender, and that's got to be ordered within 14 days of you going under contract. So you need to make sure that if you have issues in your mind before you get through the inspection period, don't delay, because that has to be ordered by day 14. Ordered
and paid for, okay? And you don't get that money back if you choose to walk away from the contract, okay?
If the appraisal's been done.
Yes, if that money has been spent. Same with the home inspection, so on and so forth. So that is money that you need to count on it being collateral to the loan process. You're not going to get that money back, but it is a safety net for you, and it is something that we strongly recommend.
And of course, you're going to have your down payment, but that's not expected until closing date. And you're going to have your closing costs. And these are things that you've talked to your lender about, so you already know what those are going to be. And that's going to be at closing. And then you're going to have your buyer agent fee. So, and again, that should be a conversation that you have had with your buyer's agent so that you know exactly what you're paying for representation already.
Yep. And again, the moral of the story with all of these fees is those are conversations that should be had with you up front. You should expect them. You should clearly know how much money you're paying, who you're paying it to, and where it's going. And also what the process is, especially with earnest money, for when and if you would receive that money back. Make sure that you understand that on the front end. Okay, guys? So money that you're going to spend, money that will be spent, and is just collateral damage if something were to go wrong with the contract. So, but it's very, very important. But you would be surprised how many people get into the buying process and don't realize that that's money they have to come up with up front. So make sure that your lender is very vocal in explaining that information to you.
Yeah, I think that's a good conversation to have between the realtor, the lender, and the buyer to make sure everyone is on the same page, how you're going to structure your offer. What are going to be the things that you need to ask for? Do you need closing costs? Are you able to pay your closing costs out of pocket? Typically, closing costs on a purchase are going to be between 3 and 4% of your purchase price.
Well, and that varies greatly, guys. And understand that closing costs and title expenses are not the same thing. And make sure that if you're asking for a seller to cover your closing costs, that you understand the total amount that you need. So if there's any difference, you're familiar with that. I'm going to go back and reiterate what we've already talked about with local lenders. Use a trusted local lender who's going to explain those things to you, because there's nothing more heartbreaking than getting right to the closing table and a buyer not understanding what it is that they needed to bring or
and choose
have.
your loan officer prior to looking at homes, because you do want to go ahead and get qualified, because a knowledgeable loan officer is going to help you decide what type of loan is best for you. And they're going to talk to you about the advantages and disadvantages of each one.
I think it's important to remember, too, when you have that conversation with the lender, you're going to get the grand prize. You're pre-approved up to X. But your budget is only for Y, and you need to be able to understand the difference. Just because you're approved to purchase a home up to $300,000, and then that home payment at that price point is way outside of your comfort zone, you need to start walking yourself back in to stay with your budget. So you need to have a budget established for where you can spend money, because you're also going to pay for utilities, upkeep, put some money back every month for savings in the event of a water heater replacement. Some major, heaven forbid, it never fails. As soon as Murphy will pop up anytime.
Well, and I think, like Jack is saying, when you have all of the information, it really does help you put your best foot forward so that your offer is clean, concise, very clear to a seller, especially if you're in a situation where there is more than one offer on the table, which brings me to another point. We are starting to see, especially in certain price ranges, multiple offers come into play again. That doesn't always mean 5 offers on the first day. That may mean you're going to look at a home that already has a contract on it. And in that case, Cindy, how often do those fall apart?
About 20% of the time. So 1 out of 5 will go to a backup buyer. So if you are looking at a home that it's its first weekend on the market and it has a lot of activities and it does have 5 offers on it, don't be afraid to put your offer in a first position backup, because 20% of the time you will get that home.
And that is one of the most powerful, that is one of my favorite caveats in real estate, is that backup offer, because essentially you're the backup offer. You are sitting in line waiting to be next on the ride until you decide you want to get off, unless you have not been made aware that you're the primary contract. If you're still the backup and you find something you like better,
you withdraw your offer.
Foul. You withdraw your offer. So you've held your place in line till you decide you want to get out of line. And the ideal situation would be, guess what? You're next up, a reservation's open.
And then that way the home doesn't come back on the market, so that you're then competing with 5 other offers again. So you have the contract for the first position backup. You can withdraw at any time. So there's really no downside to being the backup.
I love backup offers. I love when, I hate when people say, oh no, we don't want to be a backup. Why not? No harm, no foul. You made an offer. My seller's okay with it. They have somebody in front of you, but if something happens, they'll move right along to your contract.
And a lot of times sellers will negotiate a little bit more on that backup contract, because they know
it's a safety net.
Yeah, it's a safety net. So they don't think that they're ever going to have to, move to that backup. But reality is 1 out of 5 times they are.
Well, and let me say one more thing before we go to commercial. The other thing you need to be aware of is money at closing. Okay. That's one of those conversations that I'm shocked in the last few months, how many times I've gotten to a closing table and a buyer didn't know how they were allowed to get their money to closing. You typically will be required to bring some sort of funds to the closing table, whatever that looks like.
Don't bring it to the table. Wire it ahead of time.
That's what I was going to say. And if you're going to wire the money ahead of time, understand the laws and understand what your bank will and will not allow. In the last 6 months, I've had 4 instances where someone had to drive to Atlanta to get money wired, because a bank will only wire a certain amount of money per day via a phone call. So understand how much you're bringing, understand how you're going to get it there, and what is acceptable from your lender, from the bank, and from the title company, so that there are no surprises on the day of. We don't like surprises in real estate.
No, they're bad. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the top things you need to avoid when making your first home purchase.
WGOW. Talking out the bigger issues.
Our country has a lot of problems.
Talk 102.3 WGOW FM.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? A man age 50 non-tobacco user can obtain $500,000 of coverage for as little as $110 per month. Level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, there are great rates available for you as well. Call Term Busters for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, call Term Busters. 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate for preferred non-tobacco rate class. Exam required to qualify.
Come to Randy's Pawn Shop for the best selection of Liberty safes. Secure your valuables with a Liberty safe from Randy's. Liberty gun safes are the #1 selling safes and have a lifetime warranty. Plus, they're made in the USA. Support a small business where service after the sale happens with 12 months, same as cash with approved credit. Shop local, buy from Randy, the Liberty gun safe specialist. Randy's Pawn Shop in Trenton, Georgia, a half a mile off I-59 on the left. We deliver and we'll move what we sell.
Listen to Tony Sanders Outdoors every Saturday morning from 5 to 7 a.m. for the latest information about all things outdoors. Tony Sanders Outdoors, your source for outdoor information, education, and entertainment. Now that's how you do a promo. No bad jokes or puns.
That was really good. I will dive in and see if I can wade through a commercial. Let me catch my breath. I'm debating on whether I can do it.
I can't even get through one promo without a pun. Tony Sanders Outdoors, 5 to 7 a.m. every Saturday morning. Be sure to check us out on Facebook for our podcast.
Paid for by government.com.
Have you heard? A recent stash of 1881 Morgan silver dollar coins has been found. These gorgeous 1881S silver dollar coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck. Only a limited quantity of these Morgan silver dollar coins are available. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone interested in silver coins. Just call government at 1-800-509-6468 and you are guaranteed a mint condition 1881S Morgan silver dollar featuring the iconic S mint mark of the San Francisco Mint. But with limited quantity, you must call now. These 1881S silver coins are still in uncirculated condition. That is 140 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-509-6468. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-509-6468 now to secure your 1881S Morgan silver dollars before they sell out. That's 1-800-509-6468.
Do you want the highest possible offer for the sale of your home? Do you want to move into your dream home but still need to sell your current home? You got to stop all the drama, folks, and you got to call my great friend Cindi Richardson with the Richardson Group, online at rg423.com. Do you want the highest possible offer for the sale of your home? Do you want to move into your dream home but still need to sell your current home? You got to stop all the drama, folks, and you got to call my great friend Cindi Richardson with the Richardson Group. Cindi Jody, you can hear him here every Saturday at 9 o'clock. Yes, skip the showings, repairs. Call 423-790-7979 or go to rg423.com. Start packing. They'll buy your house. Just get it over with. 790-7979.
I'm Barbara Corcoran. In Chattanooga, the agent I trust is Cindi Richardson. Cindi can give you an instant offer in 24 hours, a customized marketing plan, and a full team of experts. Get the option that's right for you. Go to rg423.com.
Talk 102.3.
Welcome back to Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody. We've been talking about National Home Ownership Month, and we've got the top 5 mistakes every first-time buyer should avoid. Jody, what's number 1?
Yeah, we don't have a ton of time, so let's get right into it. The number 1 thing in my mind is do not look at houses until you know how much, I won't even use the word afford, until you know where you want to be price-wise.
Because it's real hard if you're looking at $500,000 houses to turn around and start looking at $250,000 houses, because they're just not going to have the same amenities And you're going to be very, very disheartened.
Things don't matter until they matter.
Right.
You know, like when I built the first time I built a house, I cared a lot about the door hinges because they gave me choices. And I've laughed about that ever since. I've never paid attention to a door hinge ever in my life. But if you lay 5 out there, you can guarantee I'm going to pick the most expensive one, and it's going to feel really, really important.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking at $500,000 houses and your comfort zone is $300,000, it's real hard to take that step back. It's much easier to look at $200,000 houses and move up to $300,000 houses. So don't set yourself up for disappointment, because there are good homes in your price range. We just need to figure out which price range is first.
And do not start looking at homes until you have your pre-approval. That way you're not getting heartbroken. You know that you qualify for the mortgage. You know what the payments are going to be. You know exactly what area you're looking in if your loan is specific to county or outlying areas.
And I'll add one more to that line. Make sure you are qualified and approved. You have given them documentation. There is no gray area about whether or not you're approved for that loan. Jack, what's number 3?
Don't count on money that you don't have yet. If you are getting money from a gift or a tax return or from some other thing, don't count on that money being there in time. It's money you do not have that's tangible, and there is a good chance that there will have to be an explanation of where that came from, or if it is cash. You've saved cash over the years, kept it in an envelope system, whatever, you have to put it into the bank through the wire transfer. Depending on the amount, that money may have to season in the account for up to 60 days.
Well, and I'll even add one more to that. Don't count on a financial situation that is a possibility in the future. Don't stretch yourself because you're going to make more money. If you're comfortable where you are now, it will make that house payment easier, not more difficult. So make sure that you're comfortable where that payment is.
Do not go buy things on credit.
Ding, ding, ding. Realtor's favorite topic here.
Let's not go buy a new car. Let's not go finance furniture.
Well, and you made a good point. The car is the most common. Don't open a credit card. Don't go buy a new car. Don't buy a boat. We hear those things all the time. You've kind of gotten through the process. You take a deep breath. You spend some money because you've been really good.
Don't co-sign for a friend.
The biggest one, don't finance a refrigerator because it's 6 months, no interest. Okay. It doesn't always have to be a huge purchase. Don't go buy a new couch. Don't do something because you're excited about the new house. Hang on to it. Use a cooler the first 48 hours if you have to. So, I did a really good job of explaining people not to go buy something huge, but then left off the small things like a fridge.
Yeah, I think number 5 is the most important one. Don't do it without a realtor.
What we're here for. We want to help you guys.
Use our experience.
Yeah, guys, thanks so much for listening. We hope you guys have a great weekend, and we will talk to you again next week on Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody.
Pour yourself something